Welcome to another inventRight.com TV show. Steven, companies are more open to ideas than ever, but there are some industries that are a little bit harder and ones that are easier. And you're in one that's really, really difficult. What's that industry?
It's the packaging industry.
Packaging. So this video is not about the packaging industry, but we want you to tell us about your difficulties in the packaging business and also help people realize that most industries are not that difficult. And then we can do the contrast to other industries that are easier and why packaging is harder and other industries are easier.
Well, let me start with the easy ones because that's where I started.
Okay.
And you're absolutely right, Andrew. Every industry is a little bit different, but the majority of these industries really want ideas, are easy to do, and that's what we've been teaching for a long time, right? So, and I call these industries kind of fashion industries, where things go in and out pretty quick, just like fashion. So the opportunity is that a lot of these companies don't require having patents. They don't care. A lot of those industries work with outside inventors slash product developers slash freelancers. Why? Because it's cheap. They love us because they don't have to pay us until they sell something. Okay.
Right. So now, when you say a fashion business, you don't need patents. You're talking about like maybe novelties, things that aren't going to sell huge volumes.
Well, fashion to me is when products go in and out of the market fairly quick.
Got it. So and what's an example of some of those industries?
Well, let's talk about them. The toy industry.
Okay. Novelties,
toy, kitchen, hardware. It just goes on and on and on.
Well, I disagree. Kitchen and hardware, I think they would prefer at least a patent pending status, a provisional.
If you want to break it down even further, yes. Yeah. They want some perceived ownership.
Right.
Some don't care at all.
So yeah, like you did a suction cup with a heart on it that said, "I'm stuck on you for Valentine's Day," and you could throw it. Yeah. And they didn't care about patents. That's the perfect example of novelty business. Well, but most of the time, for $65, it's a good idea to get the provisional, though, right?
Even I created an indoor Nerf basketball game called the Michael Jordan, sold for 10 years. They never asked if there was any protection. They didn't care.
Right. So, but this isn't a video about protection. It's about easy or hard industries. You're in an industry that's very, very difficult.
Okay, so those are easy industries. They don't require any protection, maybe a provisional patent application. Some of these guys don't even require prototype. I've seen stuff with the one-line description. They don't care. They're open for ideas. They need a lot of ideas. Just give me more and more and more. Those are easy industries. But there's some of them that are a little bit tricky.
Right. Packaging is one, but what is packaging? Give us an example.
Packaging would be a new bottle.
Well, do you have your spin label there? You want to run back there and get one? You have one on the desk? Oh, come on. We'd love to see the spin label.
I live and breathe it all the time. Ugh. Packaging, like for an example, the ketchup that you turn upside down, it rests on the cap.
Right.
Come on. How brilliant was that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that wasn't as easy as it sounds because they had to make the closure had to have a little vacuum so it didn't leak out. I mean, there are little technical things too, but that inventor I think he walked away with $13 million on that particular one, but that took some time. Wow. And I'll tell you the reason why. You have to understand the manufacturing process a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So most ideas, it doesn't matter.
Most ideas, you just look at similar items and go, well, if they can make that thing over there, mine's just a slight tweak. Yeah. And that's all the manufacturing research you need to do. But in industry like packaging, you need to have it locked down. You need to really understand the manufacturing.
Yeah, because they're not going to build a piece of equipment just for your idea. Okay.
Yeah, but everybody thinks, well, but it's simple. You just add this thing on the diaper, and it's like, well, the diaper's flying off the line at 1 billion units a minute. That little change is going to be a big change.
Not quite 1 billion, but let's say 1,000.
I'm exaggerating to make the point.
But you're close. Some of it runs so fast you can't even see it.
Well, you mentioned to me Coca-Cola sells 1 billion Cokes a day. Is that true? That's crazy numbers, man.
That's 1 billion Cokes a day. And the equipment that puts the labels on, like the PET, the 20 ounce, some of them go 1,000 a minute.
So what seems simple in packaging, the manufacturing is not as simple as you think. The concept's simple,
it's
the
really
execution is difficult.
really simple, Andrew. They built this equipment that runs high speed, does a lot of volume. Packaging is volume. Look at it, it's a consumable. Look at it. Every day people are consuming this stuff, right? So that equipment is very expensive. That equipment has been designed, which takes a lot of money even to design it, right? So for you to walk in and go, hey, I want you to do that, they're going to look at you and they don't care how great it is. They're going to say, well, that's a lot of risk.
Well, so not only is the manufacturing difficult, the other thing that you and I are always talking about is there's so much money involved. Yeah. So when the deals get that big, I mean, they're huge. The royalties you can earn is insane if you could close a deal. But when there's that much money involved, and that's where this industry is a little more, there's so much money, and we don't say this about most industries, like kitchens, sporting goods, garden, a lot of categories. All these companies aren't trying to figure out a way around you. They aren't. They want to pay you for good ideas, and they're okay with it. But there's some industries that's not true. There's so much money involved in packaging, they will try to figure out a way around you if they can. So you really got to be on your A game. It's a lot more work. Maybe not great for a first project for a rookie inventor.
No, it's not good for a first project by anybody's stretch of imagination. Most people that create in that industry are from that industry, that know the equipment. Yeah, that's why it's difficult, Andrew.
But then it's also difficult, as I've learned from you, because you've been doing packaging forever. You got to figure out the manufacturing, but then you need to create this wall of patents to protect those manufacturing methods for this new packaging product. And it gets your bankroll needs to be pretty big. And you've been playing the game for a while. You know how to play it, but
it's not expensive for everybody. And I learned the hard way. I went into it thinking, well, how hard can it be? It's only a label. And realized it was like moving a mountain. And I'm still in it, and I enjoy it, but it's very slow moving. Very, very slow moving. One of the things we teach is that you can file a provisional, and if you jump on calling companies right away, if there's interest within 3 or 4 or 5 months, 6 months at most usually, you're going to get a deal done in that period of time. But with packaging, you're going to bump up against that year with the provisional almost basically guaranteed every time. That's how slow they are. I can guarantee you this, that 4 or 5 years in the packaging industry is moving pretty fast.
Crap. Pardon my language. Yeah, and so now let's jump over to a simpler. Like you got a new kitchen gadget.
Yeah.
They desperately want kitchen gadgets, especially under $10 or $20 these days. Really, really hot category. And some of them they do care. If you have a provisional, great. We'll file a patent. We'll say patent pending for the first 1 to 3 years. But you can look. Let's say you got a new spatula for pancakes. You look at other spatulas. You go, well, mine has this little bump on it, but this one over here doesn't. But they're selling for $9.95. I know they can make it. I know they can make mine. You don't have to do that manufacturing research you were just talking about with the packaging product. And that's most categories. But there are some categories like packaging. It's only insane people like yourself get into it. And you got into it because you didn't know what you're getting into. And 16 years later, now you're an expert at it. But it's not easy for a rookie inventor.
No, it's not, Andrew. And there's some industries that are like that. Like I said, you have to be an industry expert already to be involved in it. Even then, it's hard. So no, it's not one I would recommend to anybody. But you're right about how most products that we see, and I think a lot of the products that most consumers purchase, are just variations of existing ideas.
Yeah.
It doesn't require a wall of patents. It doesn't require new equipment. It doesn't require all those obstacles.
Doesn't require all that manufacturing research. You just look at similar things. So I think the one thing we want to accomplish, Steve, with this video is to help people realize that. Okay, yes, you have a new diaper or a new Band-Aid. These are examples of products that sell insane volumes. A new box, for crackers or whatever. And yes, it's a great idea, but maybe you move on to another idea because it's a really difficult industry. Maybe it's your second or third project after you get your feet wet a little bit. But maybe after you realize working on a kitchen product or something for the home or sporting good, or God, I could name dozens of other industries. You're like, why would I want to work on that hard one if I can work on these simpler ones?
I think the first thing, if you do have an idea in that category, you need to find someone that's really in that industry and talk to them as quick as you can. They'll probably talk you out of it. Is what's going to happen. So, but if you're still persistent and you still want to know, find someone that's been in the industry. And we have a lot of students that show me packaging. You're right, and I guide them the best I can, and they stay with it to a certain degree, but they realize it's a hard push, Andrew.
Well, if they got several ideas, we let them know about the risks. Most of them decide to work on other projects. Some of them still want to work on it. Hey, Steve, I know it's, and then they got you, man. I mean, so you're coaching. I mean, how rare is that? You're a packaging expert, and you're coaching inventors. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I would say anybody that's looking at an industry that's really hard. I know it's not that common. If your idea is a variation of an idea that you already see, that's already being produced, that's a good place to start. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Definitely.
But most industries are very user friendly. The doors are open. They're looking for a uniqueness, and it's exciting because anybody can do this. You need to learn a few things, right? You need to understand the terms. The more information you have, the better deal you will cut. Mm-hmm. All right. So, and you don't want to learn. You don't want to get the gray hair like I have doing it, right? I mean, so find someone. It's either us that we can help you or somebody else that can help you. But you don't have to make every mistake to learn. No.
Well, and choosing your projects carefully is incredibly important. I mean, if you got one project over here, it's 10 times harder and doesn't have that much, profit potential, and you got this one, and it's 10 times easier and has 100 times the profit potential, you're hurting yourself when you're not working on the other project. And so I think I guess if there's one thing we wanted to accomplish in the video, it's pick your projects carefully. Realize some industries are very difficult, not most. It's just a few, and some are harder, and if you don't know, that's going to hurt you.
If you don't know what a hard idea versus an easy idea, it can be very painful.
Very, very painful. So thank you for checking out another inventRight.com TV show. Make sure to click on the thumbs up button below. Subscribe to the channel if you like it, and we'll catch up with you on another show. Right, Steve?
You bet. Thank you, Andrew.
All right. See you guys. Bye.